Alright, so this is question number 2. The light-dependent reactions of photosynthesis use the products of light-dependent reactions to the light-independent reactions of photosynthesis. Okay, this is question number 2. The light-dependent reactions of photosynthesis use the products of light-dependent reactions to produce simple sugars. A1, which row of the table shows the products of light-dependent reactions that are used in the light-independent reactions? So products of light-dependent reactions that are used in light-independent reactions. So let's see. ATP produced. ATP is produced in non-cyclic phosphorylation, so I'm canceling out this last two, and NADP, whether it's oxidized or reduced. So the NADP that is produced, it's generally NADPH. NADPH. So whenever there is an H, you know that it has been reduced. So it is D. Let's move on. So the question here is simple sugars have the formula CnH2nOn. Name the organic molecule that provides each element in a simple sugar. Alright, so they have given you the general formula like this. So the formula that glucose molecules have follows this pattern. So it's C6H12O6. Now we have two molecules from where we can get these elements. One is carbon dioxide molecule and the other is water molecule, right? So if we think about it, in water and carbon dioxide molecule, only in carbon dioxide molecule we have carbon element. So obviously this one is going to come from carbon dioxide, right? And H, carbon dioxide doesn't have hydrogen, so obviously the H is going to come from the water molecule. There's no doubt on that. But the oxygen molecule, carbon dioxide has oxygen and water has oxygen as well. And I'd like to mention here, which is really important, that the glucose molecules and these kinds of products have oxygen, and at the same time the plants are also excreting oxygen as a byproduct, O2. So which one goes where? So this is very important to remember, that the oxygen over here, this oxygen always comes from carbon dioxide molecule, not the water molecule. Repeating again, this oxygen in glucose, for example, comes from the carbon dioxide molecule, this one. And the O2 byproduct that the plants release always comes from the water molecule. All right. Next, we have a graph which says two types of plant, C3 and C4, have slightly different pathways of light-independent reactions. The graph shows how the rate of photosynthesis is affected by temperature in these two types of plant. We have a graph here, and the independent variable is temperature in degrees Celsius and the dependent is rate of photosynthesis per arbitrary unit. So let's just look at the graph. This is the C4 plants graph. This is the C3 plants graph. All right, what's the question? Describe three conclusions that can be made about the differences in the effect of temperature on the rate of photosynthesis in these two types of plant. So the crucial part is three conclusions. And another very important thing to notice is differences, not similarities, but differences in these two graphs. Okay, let's see. So the first difference that I can see is that of the optimum temperature. The optimum temperature of both these graphs vary. The optimum temperature of C3 plants is lower, around 26, and of C4 plants is higher, like that of 35 degrees Celsius. They also have the different maximum rate of photosynthesis, which is lower for C3 plants and higher for C4 plants, and you can just list out the numbers from here. Another point I could write is before 20 degrees Celsius, the rate of photosynthesis for all temperature was higher in C4 plants compared to C3 plants compared to C4 plants. And after 20 degrees Celsius temperature, the rate of photosynthesis was higher at all temperature for C4 plants compared to C3 plants. Moving on, this is the last question from question 2. Calculate the Q10 for the enzymes in C4 plants. So Q10 for C4 plants, and use the formula this, where RT is the initial rate of reaction at 10 degrees Celsius. Give your answer as a whole number. So if RT is the initial rate of reaction at 10 degrees Celsius, so this portion has to be for 20 degrees Celsius, right? Because it says RT plus 10, and this one is going to be for 10 degrees Celsius as they mentioned earlier. All right, let's look at the values then. So we are doing this for C4 plants, and as you can see, this part is almost linear. So at 20 degrees Celsius, the value is almost here. It's almost like, let's assume it's 22, here 22. And over here for 10, it's over approximately here, so that's 6. I'm going to use these two values. So let me remind you that we are looking for values for 20 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius. Let's go back. So what we need is rate of reaction at 20 degrees Celsius and rate of reaction at 10. So 20, it was about 22, and at 10, it was about 6. So if we follow this equation, what we have as Q10 is 22 over 6. And if you calculate the value, what we get is about 3.67. Now, if you write your answer as 3.67, you're not going to get 2 marks. Why? Because they wanted the answer as a whole number. So I'm going to round this to 4. Another extremely important point is that if you see this is a ratio, so there would be no units. You cannot write AU or arbitrary unit here. There's no units. All right, so this is the end of question 2. So I'll be dropping the solution to the next questions in the next video. So please drop a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a good day.